As we were discussing structural adaptations of living organisms during our past lessons, we were always observing and analyzing body features that helped living organisms to survive. And in many cases, we identified more than one structural adaptation in an animal or in a plant. The real question now is, how do all these adaptations collaborate and work together to help living organisms survive? احنا اتكلمنا قبل كده عن الادابتيشن وقلنا ان في الادابتيشن احنا بنتكلم على التأقلم. How do living organisms survive؟ ازاي قدروا يعيشوا ويتحملوا الظروف الصعبة دي؟ واتكلمنا عن different types of adaptation. Some of them are structural adaptations يعني related للbody parts, and others are behavioral adaptations that are related to our behaviors or actions. Now, get your writing tools and your books set as we will learn today about body systems of humans and animals and the way in which they adapt to fulfill the basic needs. Get ready and let's start our fourth lesson from adaptation and survival concept. Over the past few years, we learned about the different organs and body parts, and we know that there are parts in our body that readily observable, like our hands, eyes, nose. However, there are other parts and organs inside our bodies that we cannot see directly. طبعا انتوا عارفين ان في جزء كبير من الاعضاء نقدر نشوفها بعينينا بوضوح تام، وفي اعضاء inside our bodies that we cannot see. Now, we are just sure that they are there because they do their jobs. These are like heart, stomach, and the brain. When a group of organs collaborate to perform a certain job, we call this group a system. So, a body system is a group of organs. لما بيكون عندي مجموعة من الأعضاء بنسميها system. The group of organs work together to perform a job. Example of systems that are inside our bodies and other living organism bodies include the digestive system and the respiratory system. You see from their names, we can easily tell their jobs. They help us digest food and help us in respiration. Have you ever wondered what happens during digestion? يا ترى ايه اللي بيحصل لما بناكل؟ And whether our digestive system is similar to other living organisms? We will learn all about this in activity 10. Observe like a scientist. في الاكتيفيتي بتاعتنا هنلاحظ زي العلماء بالظبط. We will observe the structure of our digestive system and we will describe the way it works. After we learn about the different organs that work together inside the system to do their jobs. The first step we need to do is to observe the digestive system image we have in page 21. Have a good look at the image and try to guess what would be the job of each organ and how the organs would work together. We will give you some time to write down your notes and get back to you for step 2. هنفكر كويس بعد ما نبص على الصورة وظيفة كل organ هتكون ايه. I know that many of you might have easily guessed the job of few of the organs, like the mouth, and how it would help us shred and cut the food. And I also know that jobs of other organs might be not clear to you yet. Don't worry about it. في أعضاء بيبقى سهل قوي إن احنا نتخيل وظيفتها. في أعضاء بيبقى صعب إن احنا نتخيلها. ما تقلقوش خالص. هي دي مهمتنا إن احنا نتعلم عنها. That's why we have step 2, in which you read the text in page 21 and underline the job of each organ, then compare this with our guess on the image to see if we were able to correctly guess the job of each organ and how the organs relate to one another to work together. Take your time to read the text and don't forget. محتاجين ان احنا نعمل خط تحت الوظيفة اللي هيعملها كل organ. ما تقلقوش خالص، احنا معاكم step by step. make sure to underline and take notes. I am sure that you know the job of each organ in the digestive system. Let's take all our notes and see what really happens inside the digestive system. We will do this using the interactive we have in page 21, which you can access on your digital version of Science textbook on the Egyptian Knowledge Bank through the QR code. يلا بينا نجيب الانتراكتيف جيم اللي هنتعلم فيها بطريقة مسلية جدا ازاي نقدر نعرف ال function of each organ and we will relate the organ shape to its function. مهم قوي ان انتوا تلاحظوا كل organ بيعمل ايه. Can you see it? What is the first organ that receives the food? The esophagus? The stomach? No. It is the mouth, of course. The mouth is the first organ that receives the food. Let's think about it. What needs to happen to the food when it enters the mouth? It needs to be shredded into smaller pieces. لازم نعمل chewing جامد قوي قوي ونقطع الأكل. What part inside the mouth that makes this happen? Then, exactly, this is the teeth. The teeth help in shredding the food into smaller pieces. We also notice that the food becomes soft after chewing. So what makes the food soft? Yes, it is the saliva. Saliva inside the mouth, it helps in making the food soft after chewing, to be easy to swallow. Did you notice the water inside your mouth? This is the saliva. Swallowing happens through the throat, this part. If you put your hand here, in this part, you can feel the movement as you swallow. Try it now. Swallow. All looking good. The mouth shredded food into pieces and made it soft and mushy. And the throat helped us to swallow the food. Now, the food needs to go to the stomach. Oh wait, this distance? The distance between throat and stomach can be like this. The food must go through something to reach this stomach. Did you think? Exactly, another organ. Which one? I think the esophagus. What makes the esophagus the best organ for the job though? You see, it is like a tube, a long one, so that it can deliver the food from the mouth to the stomach. And furthermore, its walls are muscular. There are muscles that move the food till it reaches the stomach. Now the food arrived safely into the stomach. Do you recall from the text that the food stays in the stomach 4 hours? Why would it take that much time? It performs a complex job as it turns food into a soapy liquid. جوه الستومك الأكل هيتحول لشيء سائل خالص عشان نقدر نعمل digestion of food بسهولة. Pretty much like softening that the saliva does in the mouth. However, here in the stomach, it uses acids and digestive juices inside as it mixes the food to make it soapy and ready to the next step. What is the next step exactly? It is the small intestine. Juices from the liver and pancreas flow into small intestine with the food. These juices break down the food even more into simple small nutrients that the body can absorb. Nutrients هي المواد الغذائية اللي بتبقى موجودة في الأكل اللي احنا بنعمل الدايجيشن بروسيس كلها عشان نوصل لها. Note that the food is still in the small intestine where the simple nutrients get absorbed through the walls of the small intestine and it gets into the blood which distributed to all the body parts. Now the body absorbed what it needs from the food using the help of the digestive system. What is the next step? Next step involves the large intestine. which receives the food that couldn't be digested and the waste that the body doesn't need. The large intestine then absorbs the extra water from all these wastes, then moves the wastes to outside of the body through the anus. Wow! We know now all about the organs and parts of the digestive system and their jobs. Let's see how the food moves through the digestive system, starting the moment it enters the mouth. You can now tell that digestion happens in a sequence of steps that cannot be compromised. There is a system that works to make sure that food is digested properly. The digestive system, the stomach, cannot be before the esophagus. No organ can do its job before another organ. They must all work together in the system and the right sequence to break down the food we eat into simple nutrients that the body can absorb and make use of. لازم نهتم جدا بترتيب الدايجستيف سيستم اورجنز. ما ينفعش هنا اي اورجن يشتغل قبل الاورجن التاني، لازم يمشوا بالترتيب ده عشان نوصل لاحسن نتيجه digestion and absorption of food. Well, it's your turn now to answer the questions in page 23. Take your time, and when you finish, we will check the answers together. Question 1. Why is digestion important? Digestion helps our body breaks down food into simple nutrients that can be absorbed so that our body can use them to get the energy it needs. Question 2. Explain how the mouth helps digest food. I'm sure that you didn't forget to write about the role of the teeth and the saliva inside your mouth. فاكرين السلايفا كانت ايه؟ Question 3. Compare and contrast the digestion that take place in the stomach, small intestine and large intestine. We know that the stomach mixes the food and turns into a soapy liquid, while the small intestine turns the food into simple nutrients that can be absorbed. Finally, the large intestine carries the non-digested food and wastes outside the body through the anus after absorbing the extra water. After we learned about the digestive system, I want you to search for the different ways in which we maintain the health of this system, such as drinking enough water. You can look at EKP or through the library after we get fully covered the digestive system for humans. Can we say that the digestive system of all organisms are similar, or there can be differences between them? تخيلوا كده لو اتكلمنا على other living organisms، تفتكروا الدايجستيف سيستم بتاعهم هيبقى زي الدايجستيف سيستم of humans exactly? Will it work the same way? Do they have the same organs? This is what we are going to explore in activity number 10. Analyze like a scientist. In this activity, we will analyze two of the digestive systems of animals, cows and dogs, so that we can understand how the structure of their digestive systems help them to survive. After we finalize that activity, you will be easily capable of comparing the digestive systems of humans and animals. The first thing I want you all to do is to look closely at the picture that represents the digestive system of cows and dogs on page 24 and observe its parts and think of different questions to ask, because this will help in your analysis, such as what the parts look like, what is the difference between cows and dogs, and why this difference exists. I'll give you time to think that I will share with you my answers. Let me share with you my analysis. I started my analysis by making the observation that are obvious and easy to notice. For example, I noticed that the digestive system of the cow is longer than the digestive system of the dog. The cow has 4 compartments. Those 4 compartments, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here they are. The 4 compartments to digest the food. But the dog has 1 stomach. Then I started my analysis and I asked myself, why does a cow has a longer digestive system than the dog? And here I started immediately to think about the function of the digestive system and reminded myself that in the last activity, the main function of the digestive system is to digest food. And since the cow eats herbs and the dog eats meat, the difference between them might be due to the type of food. Let's read the text and check together whether we analyze the image correctly and what is the reason for the difference between the 2 digestive systems. The text shows that our analysis is not only correct, but also we came to be a conclusion that the digestive system differs because of the type of the food of each organism. In order to divide the food among what do you think would happen? They will not be able to digest the grass, and then you must find another type of food to feed on in order to be able to live. In the same way, if you think about your digestive system, you will know why each organ has a specific structure and function, why they adapt to meet the basic needs of organisms. أكيد انتوا لاحظتوا الفروقات اللي ما كانت ما بين digestive system of human and of cow and of dogs. هنا كان في فروقات في الستراكشر والفانكشن, the shape of organs and their functions according to different types of food. أكيد احنا بناكل أكل مختلف عن الcow which eats grass and the dog which eats meat. وده اللي خلى فيه difference في الادابتيشنز in our internal body organs and the digestive system. Now, let's think about the questions. And the second question in particular is one of the questions I'd like to see how you think about it. And the question says, the shape of cow's teeth differs from the shape of dogs. Does anyone have an idea of why? Everyone who thought about the type of food and its relation to the shape of the teeth could certainly answer the question correctly. The most important thing is to remember the main goal of our lesson is to understand how the body's systems adapt and cooperate with each other in order to meet our different needs. And for this, we will continue our exploration of the second system in our lesson, which is the respiratory system. In activity 11, observe like a scientist. Surely you noticed or make an effort or run. We breathe quickly, unlike if we are doing normal type of activities or sitting down. Do you wonder why? What's meant by the process of breathing is that we inhale air from the nose and mouth like this. But in reality, we do not need all the air in our body. We need to take in from it only oxygen. So, the exhalation takes place in order to expel the rest of gases that we do not need. And when we make an effort, we need more oxygen. أكيد لاحظتوا إن إحنا لما بنعمل مجهود معدل التنفس عندنا بيزيد جدا، ولما بنبقى مستريحين التنفس بيقل وبيرجع للريت الطبيعي بتاعه. وأكيد بعد ما بنتنفس we get rid of the extra gases that our bodies don't need. In order to understand how does this happen, we will start the analysis activity.